What will others think of me? Will they think I'm a failure? Will they think I'm not successful? What will that mean? Will it mean that I'll never be good enough? Will it mean that it's just not meant to be? Will it mean that I need to settle for something else, that I need a backup option just in case? If you've asked yourself those questions and they're paralyzing you the way this student has felt paralyzed, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say very, very, very carefully.
Turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the
I don't know who needs to hear this, but stop playing scared as a student, especially if you want to become a physical therapist, because that's who we help. Stop playing scared. Now, before I share everything I'm going to share with you over the next few moments, my name is Joseph Ngugi. I am a physical therapist. I am also a PT school acceptance coach and one of the co-founders of Pre-PT Grind, where for years we've been specializing in helping students get into PT school. I want you to understand that anyone can get accepted into PT school, but the reason why most people never become one is because they quit, right? The reason why most people never get into their dream career is because they quit. At some point, they feel like they don't have a next step. At some point, they feel like they've kind of hit a dead end, right? And so they choose to have a backup plan or a backup career or whatnot. So this conversation is going to be for you. So before I dive further, the core question that we're going to build this around is, what will I do if I don't get accepted? What will I do if I don't get into PT school? And it reminded me of a conversation that I had with a student a few days ago who back in 2020 was technically eligible to apply to PT school. Now, that means that they had checked off most of the boxes required for someone to at least submit their application for PT school. But what happened was they were scared, right? They were concerned that they would not be a good applicant. So because out of fear, the fear of not getting accepted, the fear of letting their family down, the fear of letting themselves down, they decided not to apply that first year. So they waited until the next year, which was 2021, and they decided not to apply again out of the same fear. In fact, that fear had actually grown. And then in 2022, same thing happened. The fear grew again. And so this is a student that is actually preparing to apply this coming summer, 2023, and is terrified that it's not going to work out. And one of the biggest fears is the fact that they're realizing, Joseph, I've been out of school for X amount of years, and I know that some classes eventually will start to expire. So I want to figure this out, but I'm just scared that I'm going to put in all this work, I'm going to submit my application, and these schools will tell me no. And so it's almost easier for me to put it off than to hear a no from the schools. And so I was like, wow, we gotta definitely address this. But it's something that a lot of students feel. We feel a certain level of fear or a certain level of anxiety. In fact, one of the best definitions I've ever heard for the word anxiety is wasting present energy on a future outcome that I don't want. And the more I focus on an outcome that I don't want, the more terrified I feel, the more powerless I feel, the more paralyzed I feel. What will I tell my parents if I don't get in? What will I tell my family? What will others think of me? Will they think I'm a failure? Will they think I'm not successful? What will that mean? Will it mean that I'll never be good enough? Will it mean that it's just not meant to be? Will it mean that I need to settle for something else, that I need a backup option just in case? If you've asked yourself those questions and they're paralyzing you the way this student has felt paralyzed, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say very, very, very carefully. Stop focusing on the worst case scenario. Start asking questions that actually empower you and give you life and energy, the energy that you need to go and retake classes to get a better grade, the energy that you need to figure out different study strategies for the GRE, the energy that you need to go find the perfect match schools that'll actually increase your chances of getting accepted. Start asking, what will happen when I do get accepted into PT school? How will it feel 10 years from now to be in my dream career? What do I need to do to make sure that I don't need a career backup plan? What resources can I leverage online, in person, people? Like, what resources do I have at my disposal and what resources can I leverage? Am I willing to own my journey and do everything in my power to make this thing happen? And most importantly, am I willing to collapse time by leveraging the wisdom and experiences and failures of other people who have been in my shoes, but were also able to make it to the other side and get accepted into PT school / even become physical therapists? Am I willing to just learn what they did differently? Figure out how they were able to pick themselves up. Figure out how they were able to protect what was going on in their mind. Figure out what strategies they used to get better scores on the GRE, to get better grades, to pick the right schools, to get their acceptance letters, to get their first interview, how they navigated through that. Can I leverage them? Because the thing is, a lot of times we feel like we're the only ones experiencing what we're going through, but there have been so many other students who have felt just what you're feeling right now, who have felt very close to the same level of anxiety or stress that you may have experienced. And if they went through it, well, there's a good number that eventually quit. You don't want to be them, right? But if you're like, you know what, I want to do everything in my power to get accepted, then you have to start listening to people that have been in your shoes. Where are they? How can you find them? How can you get guidance from them? A lot of times we struggle, and I've said this in other videos, we struggle mostly because we're trusting our own fears that are going on in here, but more importantly, we're usually listening to people that have never been in our shoes. We're listening to family members, and that's not to disrespect, it's just the fact that if I'm listening to someone that has never experienced what I'm going through, they can't know how to pull me out when I'm stuck, right? We're listening to advisors who have never been physical therapists. So it's easier for them to tell you to pick a backup plan because they don't understand how important this is to you, or how much this means to you, or how unfulfilled you would feel in any other career if this is indeed your dream path. And so that has to change. Who can show me a blueprint that is proven that I can use as my compass on my way to not only applying to PT school, but getting accepted into physical therapy school? And if you don't have that and you would like our help, we got you. That's what we do. Just do this. Let's make it simple. Go to www.acceptedstrategy.com. www.acceptedstrategy.com. Schedule a call with one of our team members. Let's look at your situation, where you're stuck, what your blind spots are, and what your best strategy needs to be so that we can get you out of this rut, but we can also get you on a path that will drastically increase your chances of not only getting into PT school, but finishing PT school and getting your license as a future physical therapist. So go to acceptedstrategy.com. We got you. And if you found value in this training, please like, subscribe, share this out with someone else that you know needs to hear this, and we'll see you on the next training. Have a good one.